now you get to see this younger generation of these kids that are on this cast are so incredibly talented.
Yes.
They really are.
What was it like working with all of them? Because you watch the first season, and when they do, all of them do get their moments, you're blown away.
Yes.
Like, it's crazy. So what was it like kind of seeing inside the minds of those kids?
Well, I don't know about the minds, but the bodies, they're all so tall.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I don't know why our original
You were
cast.
like, we were way shorter.
We were all short, I guess. But so that's one thing. I'm like, why are you guys all so tall? Will put me on an Apple box, please. But no, they are so talented, and they're like that all the time. I mean, they really are. They constantly pull out their instruments, and they're just always singing, or they're dancing,
breaking out in song.
Yeah, breaking out in song, and it's true. I mean, that's like musical theater heads anywhere. It's, you're always gonna. You can't get away from it.
And you have a big musical theater background.
I do. Yeah. I mean, I'm originally from New York. I grew up in Brooklyn. I've been in LA for a long time now. But I worked off Broadway when I was 6, and I always grew up doing musicals. And High School Musical was the perfect project for me, just because I did get to put it all together. But coming back to this now, like it's hard to find. Yeah. It's hard to find a project that really embodies every aspect of it. And these kids do, and I know I keep saying kids, they're all in their 20s.
Yeah, I know.
But compared to us.
Musical, and I've always been such a big fan from the outside. I have no singing ability whatsoever, but watching musical theater and like seeing that, I always like, oh, it would have been so fun to be a part of that. Watching from the we just had Sarah Hyland in the studio, and she was talking about she was just on her Bachelorette, and Vanessa Hudgens was with her in the Bachelorette, and they were like, oh, we were just performing full-blown musicals every night. Like, that's just kind of how they were spending their time. I'm like, yep, I just, if only you could sing.
Wish I had that talent.
Yeah.
But you don't have, I mean, it's, so my wife, who is not a trained singer, I think she has a lovely voice.
Yeah, it's very nice of you.
I think she has a lovely voice. She really does. But she says it all the time. She's like, I would have loved to like do music. I just don't sing. But the other, like, not too long ago, we had just had a karaoke night at Lucas Grable's house, and we were all just, I mean, singing show tunes and like, I mean,
so intimidating.
Belting out. But that was the whole thing. Is it was one of the most fun nights because we weren't trying to like, it was just for fun, and that's what one of the best parts of it is. It's just just get to enjoy it, and I feel like this cast, I feel like that's how they are also. They're always creating, they're always just enjoying the performance aspect of it.
Now, I looked back on your Instagram, and you had surprised this cast back in like 2019 when the show was first starting. Did you have any idea you were going to be a part of it in any way when you did that?
I didn't. I mean, I didn't know where it was going to go. Right. I had seen the first few episodes and was just so relieved and so happy to see where it was going. And then over the course of the years, I've just been like, I mean, if the right time and the right circumstance of that comes along, and Tim Federle had approached and said this is it, and I mean, we did it right. Yeah. He did it right. They did it right.
Yeah. And we asked your reaction to the kids. What were their reaction to you? Because obviously they had to have been fans.
Very true.
I think they play it really cool. Yeah. I think they're like, if they are, it's funny because they'll tell me the people around will tell me like they're really freaking out right now. I'm like, I can't tell. I wouldn't know.
Good actors.
They really are
professionals.
Yep.
No, truly, and I feel like they welcomed me into the cast in a way that was. Because I know I like they I am like one of the OGs and but I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm just a part of them. I feel like they're they're peer. Yeah. Which is really great. There are times where like they'll ask for advice or I feel like in a moment I feel like I can be the older wise guy and like but most of the time I'm sitting there in awe.
It's so different now because I feel like with social media and everything, can you imagine what it would have been like for you guys if that all existed at the time that High School Musical was coming out?
Twitter had just begun.
Yes.
Just begun. And I remember we kept being told, you guys got to do this thing. It's like, you can talk to fans here.
Yeah.
And to this day, like, I'm not I don't go on social media. I mean, I post, but I'm not like scrolling through.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine.
Facebook existed, but it was not like
that's why,
especially with just like going out and doing things, and like because everyone was so obsessed with the cast in general and like interrelationships and all that. Like I can't even imagine.
And they are with the new cast.
But
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
also why I feel even more so why this cast is so insanely talented. Not only, do they from a craft standpoint are they so wonderful and it's also so kind and great to work with, but they are all on social media constantly. That's a whole other part of your life that they are.
It's a whole other
working,
job. Yeah.
Working constantly. I think if anything, I also would try to just be like, live in the moment. Yeah. Enjoy this moment right now. It's also never guaranteed.
Do you feel like you guys would have gotten in some more trouble being on Disney?
Probably. We were all really good. I mean, obviously we had things here and there that occurred that it's normal, it's natural, it makes sense. But for the most part, nobody completely went off the deep end.
How old were you when the first High School Musical came out?
The first one, I was 15.
Oh my
That's
God.
crazy. So like you're growing up.
When I shot it, I was 15.
Yeah.
I think it was 16
Because I think it kind of flies under the radar that I feel like you were one of the younger.
I am the youngest.
You are the youngest one from that
out of
cast.
The 6.
Yeah.
I'm the youngest.
And that's like the prime age that you like start going to parties, drinking, experimenting. Like, it's just like, but you're growing, like you're going to high school on camera, but then also like real life.
And that's where, and also being, a part of Disney and also under that radar, and you have that want to be a role model or that pressure of being a role model. And also, it is that time where you're figuring it out, and you got to make those mistakes. So you're not later on in life going, I feel like I missed out on life. Yeah. Which again, I feel like it's good that we didn't have too much social media at that time. There was a chance for us to still have our own lives in a way. But it wasn't until later on in life that I also realized, I was like, you know what? That part of me that always feels like I'm such a people pleaser. I always have to make sure everybody's okay.
Yeah.
Like, chillax.
Yeah.
Relinquish that. And I feel like there's so much anxiety today because of social media, because it is that same aspect of there's so much comparison. It's easy to every single day. And then you also, every time you go on, every time you want to look, you feel like everybody's doing something good because, of course, they're only posting the good stuff.
Also, so easy to compare when things are just right in front of you. Right?
Yes.
Like, it's like everything's next to each other. So, of course, like back to back, you're going to be, it's nuts. I can't even imagine, especially these kids in this show that are like, people are so obsessed with them and their relationships.
But what I will say is, also today, you find that the topic of mental health is so much more prevalent, and all of them are very conscious of it. I mean, I feel like they practice their they meditate, they go see therapists, and it's okay.
And you're like, we didn't do this.
No, it was because there was something wrong with you. If you went to see a therapist, that means there's something wrong with you.
Right, and now it's becoming so normalized,
which is wonderful. That's how it should be.
Yeah.